Yeah.
He's not going to admit, I was literally trying to have it away with my son's missus.
Right.
He's gone in there.
Because he's the Tsar, he does what he wants.
Right,
yeah,
and that's the reason he's got into an argument with his son.
That's a good theory.
He hasn't just struck him once. He's assaulting her. The son's come in, tried to break him up, and he's literally... Welcome to episode 18 of Bloomin Legends. I'm Johnny Vaughan. There is the Woodman, Gavin Woods.
Hi, Johnny.
You right there, Gav?
Yeah, really good, really good.
You look perky.
I feel perky. We're into 18 of these already?
I know.
18?
I know.
Wow, we're 18.
We're 18.
We're of age.
We've reached 18.
We can vote now.
Yeah, we can vote. I can vote. I
Yeah.
can drink in pubs.
That's right.
I can.
You can belong to a shotgun range.
Can you?
Can you? I don't know.
They're not shotgun ranges. No one has shotgun ranges. Let's go down the range.
The
There's
range.
some shotguns.
You have a range
Oh, they've
day.
got targets. Boom.
I've shot at a shotgun range at Bisley.
Yes.
But it's clay.
It's clay
It's not a range.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
right.
a-
It's
for
not a
me,
range.
that's not a range.
Yeah, a rifle range.
A rifle
normally,
range.
Yeah.
I've had some great times. at
I've
Bisley.
never have, and I would love to have a go.
Well, the great thing is
Yeah.
about doing stuff for the History Channel, as it
Right.
was then, or History, is that TV presenters, because you're presenting something, for
Yes.
some reason, you're exempt from like all gun laws.
As long as because it's usually with someone
yeah.
with the military or
Yeah,
something,
you're
isn't it?
exempt
And
from
you're
all gun
you're on
laws,
their land
So
when you go
without-
shoot. Yeah.
Without any particular training,
Yeah.
at about 5 times in my life, I've been able to go down on a range and fire pretty well whatever the hell I like.
That's unbelievable.
Gav, it's some of the best times. And I've still got them all on film, some of the better ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually worked one of those Vickers, which the Germans called a Spandau, designed by an American for the First World War, and licensed by an American. So every machine gun on both sides, the Americans were getting paid.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. It was called the Devil's Paintbrush.
Right.
And a lot of people argue about what the origins of the Spandau Ballet were. Because some people say Spandau Ballet
Yeah.
was what British soldiers did, because the German equivalent of the Vickers is exactly the same gun. It's called a Spandau.
Yeah.
And obviously when everyone was being fired, everyone danced.
Getting out the way. Yeah.
But then some people would argue that the Spandau Ballet
Yeah.
is in fact the dance that Nazis did when they were hanged at Spandau prison after the war.
Interesting.
So a big argument.
Right.
What is funny
right.
about that, and it's a great story, this, which before we go into
Yeah.
the meat, because I know you like a story. to
I love
start.
a story.
I was once on holiday with Gary Kemp,
Yes.
frontman of Spandau
Of
Ballet,
Spandau
who is
Ballet.
the best company you could possibly have
Yeah.
if you're lying there poolside with your families.
Right.
He has the greatest stories to tell
I bet he does.
about the 80s
I bet he does.
that you will ever hear. It's crazy.
I bet
anyway,
he does. Yeah.
so I asked him how, we're just chatting, and I said, so why were you called Spandau Ballet then? And I laid out those two
the optional
options. He goes,
stories.
no, we're not. He says, the reason we're called Spandau Ballet. I said, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
He goes, that's really interesting. He
Yeah.
goes, but the reason we call it is because of Bob Elms. Robert Elms.
Robert Elms, go on,
suggested-
yeah.
He goes, Robert Elms, we were having a meeting, because Robert was a friend of ours, used to edit The Face,
Yeah.
and a good DJ.
Yeah.
And he said, why don't you call yourself Spandau Ballet?
Right.
So we're like, that is genius, because of
It's
course...
so 80s, isn't
It's
it?
so 80s. It's got
It's
German in there.
fantastic.
It's just so. It's so perfect.
Teardrop explodes.
No, but
Spandau Ballet. No, but it's these sort of odd words
No, but
together.
it's got a bit of German in there
Yeah,
as
it
well, which
has.
is so what they were
Yeah.
about. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
a bit of craft work.
Yeah.
Because they're a bit electro.
That's right.
But a ballet, so it's a bit,
More new romantic.
Yeah, it's a bit zhuzh and a bit,
Yeah.
a bit tutu.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they said, yeah, that's what we're going to call it. Anyway, about a year later, they were appearing in Germany. They'd had a hit.
Yeah.
They were on tour in Germany.
Right.
They were backstage. This German came up and said, "Why have you stolen our name? We have been Spandau Ballet for years." So they confronted Bob Elms when they got back, and they said, "Oi, Bob,
Yeah.
have a word with you,
Yeah.
because we just met a guy. There's
Some
already a
band in
band called
Germany,
Spandau
yeah.
Ballet." He goes, "I know." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I saw it on a flyer."
I just thought it
They're
was
like,
brilliant.
"Well, why don't you tell us?" He goes, "I never thought you'd actually make it."
I never thought you'd beat them. I never thought you'd make it.
Never thought you'd make it
That's
at all.
so
it would
funny.
ever be an issue. I know it's brilliant.
So
Right,
funny.
okay, a bit of levity. Let's get into our podcast this week. Our podcast this week, the subject is, Gavin,
Ivan the Fourth.
Ivan the Fourth, who you probably know better as,
Ivan the Terrible.
although that is a bad translation.
Apparently so. So the word terrible, you're saying, is not how we understand it.
Yes, I think it's like Gruzny or something.
Right.
It could also be Ivan the Dread.
The dread.
The Dread. It's a more accurate translation. Now you like that, don't you?
Well, I mean,
Ivan the Dread.
it sounds good.
It sounds like very Studio One ska.
It sounds like some heavy bass.
Ivan the Dread. Yeah,
I'm surprised there isn't one.
Surprised.
There probably is.
Well, Ivan the Dread.
There must be.
I tell you, Ivan the Terrible's good enough.
It's a great
Certainly,
name for a rock
Ivan
star.
the Great. But he was. And we've got to bear in mind
Yes,
as well
yes.
that Ivan the Terrible, that name translates as dread or awesome.
Yeah, a bit
So-
like how the word fantastic
Yes.
can mean of fantasy or amazing,
Yes.
or there's slightly different meanings,
Yeah,
aren't
but
they?
if he was Ivan the Awesome, it's a good job because history would just remember him sounding like a sort of surf dude.
Well, Johnny, I would put if his nickname was Ivan the Clement,
Yes.
we'd never have heard
We've
of him.
never heard, but he
because
is Ivan the Terrible, and he did, as we're about to find
Yes.
out, use terror.
He absolutely
was
did, yeah,
paranoid.
yeah.
He was a maniac. You are in now for a rip-roaring story.
This is an incredible story.
Now, this guy, because you've all heard of him, but don't know anything about him.
Which is me before we started reading
Right,
about
already,
him.
before we even start, I would say that makes him a Bloomin' Legend.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
But-
Because
no, but that's what a Bloomin' Legend
it is a mythical story.
Yeah,
It really is.
You've just heard his name,
Yes.
Ivan the Terrible. And literally, really, you don't need to learn much more about him, but we're going to tell you because it is an
Exactly.
awesome story. History
Exactly.
doesn't remember you as being the Terrible.
No.
Unless you really are.
Oh, definitely.
You're about
definitely.
to hear.
Especially because, as they say, history is written by the winners.
Yeah.
If the winners are
Yeah.
giving you a nickname like that,
Yes.
you've earned it.
Well,
Yeah.
you're about to hear a rip-roaring tale that is beyond Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's way beyond that.
Going to be packed with blooming legendary moments for all the wrong reasons. But let me tell you, what you're going to hear is going to be terrible. Gav.
Quick bio to kick us off. Ivan IV, better known as Ivan the Terrible, was born into royalty, crowned as Russia's first Tsar. In fact, it was his idea.
Yes.
And became both a reforming statesman. This is probably the bit people don't know about him. And a ruthless tyrant. That's the bit people do know.
Yes.
He modernized the Russian state. He expanded its borders and then fell into paranoia and started creating things like death squads and may or may not have blinded his own architect and killed his own son.
No, he definitely killed his own son.
So we'll start with his early life. He was born in August 25th, 1530.
Right.
Just before we go past that, can you give us a 10-second what happened just before that?
What happened just before that, basically, what you got to remember is in 1238, the Golden Hordes, the forces of Genghis Khan.
These are after Genghis, but not that long
Temujin,
after, yeah.
They invaded, the Golden Hordes hit Russia. They
Right.
took about 150 years from there
Yeah.
to get to Moscow.
Because it was cold as
Right.
hell. Yeah,
so they
yeah.
took Kiev, they took all the south, then they
Just
swept. Then they
up to
swept
St.
north.
Petersburg and Moscow, and yeah.
Then, in about 1480, so
So
about
50 years before he shows up.
50
yeah.
years before he shows up, his granddad, Ivan the
Third, yeah.
Who's Ivan the Great, which is a really hard thing to live up to, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
You know, your granddad is
Definitely.
Ivan the Great. You're called Ivan. How are you? What are you going to be?
Yeah.
You can't be another Ivan the Great.
Right.
So it's almost like doing the opposite as a form of imitation. But Ivan the Great then defeated the vassalate of the Khans.
Right.
Of
The
of
hordes,
the Golden
the-
Hordes.
the Mongols, yeah.
So he's now got rid of the Mongols. The Mongols found it really easy to rule Russia because already there were just boyars, these kind of aristocrats,
Yes.
ruling things, extorting as much money out of people below them
Right.
as they could possibly get.
Yes.
And all they had to
In
do
these disparate areas,
Yeah.
it's such a huge space.
remember the Mongolian hordes, the forces of Genghis Khan or Temujin,
Yeah.
long dead, of course, by
Yeah.
this time. They were only interested in money. They weren't converting anyone to any religion.
Right.
They were just greedy,
Land and money.
and
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
That's it.
But land only meant money to them. They,
Sure.
didn't, they didn't want to stay there.
No, of course.
So they literally let the Russians do all their work, kind of like Vichy France.
Very similar.
Very similar to
Satellite
Vichy France.
governments.
Yeah, they didn't object to. and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was it was all right.
Sure.
Now these sort of Russian aristos could just be brutal in the name of something else. We've got to do it. So they didn't really get blamed for the brutality
No.
because there was someone above them.
Right.
Like those
Although that would build double resentment from
Yeah.
the peasants. a story that revolves in Russia again and again, doesn't it? Yeah.
Ish. Once more, look to Vichy France. I love historical parallels. Is that they knew that occasionally the Germans would have to step in, but it was those local French mayors and people, Gauleiters, that were just doing all the...
Definitely.
That were heading it all up.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's not me, I'm just doing my job.
Just doing
Otherwise, we're all going to get killed.
Yeah.
So very similar to that. But then they get defeated by Ivan III.
Yes.
Yeah. But you've still got these boyars kicking around who've earned all this money under the Mongolian hordes, and they absolutely carry on this practice of screwing every penny out of anyone below you that you possibly can.
Yeah, and that goes down the line probably. So the guy you're extorting is then extorting below him, and it keeps going. Yeah,
much like India today. Anyway, Gav, the second thing that's worth pointing out is after Ivan III dies in about 1580, I think it is. Yeah, he then his son Vasily becomes Grand Prince. That, as you say, they're not Tsars yet. That means you're the first among equals. You're not a supreme leader.
Right.
This is a really massive
change. The distinction is different.
That happens during Ivan the Terrible. But Gav, his brother dies early.
Yes.
And so suddenly, when he is how old?
Well, when he's 3, his father dies. Vasily III, the Grand Prince of Moscow.
Right.
He's 3. His mother ruled as regent while he was a young child, until she mysteriously died.
No, she's poisoned.
Probably poisoned, as it says here, when he was 8. So he's 8. His mother's been ruling as regent. She gets poisoned. Ivan was left under the, quote, care of the boyars.
Yes.
These are the Russian nobles who...
They're a body of about 200 aristos that sort of kick around him.
Right.
And they are all the state exists for.
Right.
They hold and have influence. They're princes.
Sure. They're oligarchs, modern day oligarchs. It's very
but there's
similar.
about 3 ruling families kicking around who want to get in
Just
there.
like all of Europe at the time. In Italy, it's all different kingdoms and families and all that.
But remember, this is the grand prince
of Moscow. Yeah.
He is not a king yet.
No, he isn't. So Ivan is left under the care of these boyars, who apparently neglected, manipulated, and straight up abused him.
As a child, he's got no one to look after him. Now, Gav, he's the Grand Prince. We love the idea of Britain one day. It's our dream.
Of having a child king.
Oh,
we've
man,
had a capricious, horrible child king.
Horrible child king.
Like, make him eat 100 cream eggs.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
That sort of thing. Yes.
That sort of thing.
But also, wanting people to play soldiers in his garden to the death.
That's right. And laughing and clapping.
Laughing and clapping. I want the guards to fight each other to the death.
Now feed the dogs to them. Awful stuff.
Feed the dogs to them. Right. But after his mother died, when he was 8, remember, he's got all these people that have obviously got her out of the way, because now...
They've poisoned his mum.
Yeah.
They've taken care of him, but they treated him awfully.
Well, you've got the Shuskis, the Belskis, and the Glinskis.
Are these all big boyar families?
Yes, and it helps me to understand that if you think of them as like being almost like Scotsmen.
What, the clans?
Horrible Scottish clans. Yes, they're clans. We haven't quite got clans. I mean, we always sort of tied it up with ours, but this is a lot more clannish.
It is, of course it is.
They're clans around him swirling for their slice of the... But they've got the boy's ear, but they treat him...
It's Medici's with snow.
Yes.
It really is.
It's Medici's in the snow, yes.
It is, it is.
It is. It's a winter holiday. It's like the Winter Olympics for the Medicis. Anyway, he's got a brother, Yuri.
Yes.
Now, Yuri is deaf, and because he's deaf, he cannot rule.
Right.
That's it.
Just
he's
decided.
So it's him. So he's king because he's going to be king because essentially his brother's deaf.
So they still believe in the succession rights.
Oh, yeah.
But they are controlling him now, these boyars.
But they lived like vagrants and children of the poorest. It says in Mark Galeotti's wonderful A Short History of Russia. He says... there was a difficult, even dangerous environment, certainly contributed to a lifelong quest for zones of security. They scraped for food. They were just living in a palace like the poorest children.
Just left to run feral,
The Shuskis, the Gliskis, and the whatever skis.
They abused him effectively,
Completely abused him. Just literally just wheel him in to stamp something and then wheel him out.
Right.
But what it taught him, what they didn't realise is this kid all the time is developing knowledge of evil.
Well, he's seeing how the machine of power works.
And he's also...
But he's also developing all this paranoia and fear because they're abusing him.
Yeah, he's seen what they're like really early on. It's like knowing how a magician does all the tricks.
Right.
So he learns...
Yes, they're teaching him to do what he's about to do to them.
What he's about to do to them,
because
exactly
he does get the throne in the end.
Yes.
So as a result of all this abuse and manipulation by the boyars, Ivan suffers from paranoia, rage and entitlement, which become key parts of his personality. It gets really obvious later in life. And he was prone to random outbursts like a spoilt child.
Yeah.
As a teenager, he loved to abuse animals. This is a classic red flag. He would capture birds and rip out their feathers, pluck their eyes.
Did he?
Yeah, he used to throw cats and dogs from the ramparts of the Kremlin to amuse himself. These are signs that someone needs to step in and prevent a psycho from ruling Russia. But I would probably say in Russia it seems to push you to the front of the queue.
Yes.
Because you're not going to rule Russia unless you've got some fairly uncompromising techniques about you.
Yes.
You can't do it nicely.
Yeah, well,
it's impossible.
There's a Russian word, which I won't attempt to pronounce, like which literally means feeding. And it's the common practice, absolutely legal, of whatever position you're in, you're entitled to get as much out of it.
Right.
You know.
So that's it. So the corruption is not like an...
It's like working in a British car factory in the 70s.
Yeah.
So you work at the factory, but because of that, you can steal all the spare parts.
Right,
strike when you want.
To
get money off people. But like, you can, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like the idea of a Russian... Like when the Soviet Empire broke up, there were generals just selling the tanks.
Yes.
And submarines and fuel dumps and bullets and stuff. Just selling them.
Absolutely free.
No, just open the warehouse.
But this is what you got to imagine about Russia. It is...
It's the same thing.
It's three families, and they're all checking that people aren't getting too greedy.
Right.
Again, a good parallel there. The Tories during COVID.
Yes.
Oi, we want that. I want that.
Yeah.
Again, that's an absolute free for all. Everyone's just grabbing what they can.
The VIP lane for all the contracts.
Filling up pockets, and everyone like.
It's hilarious because we laugh at other countries for being corrupt.
Oh no.
We just do it with a more polite. We hide it better.
Look, it's
the same.
There's a lovely expression in Colombia, which I've told you many times, Gav, and it's true the world over. You leave someone in a room for long enough with a pot of honey. Yeah. Sooner or later, they will dip their fingers.
They're going to dip.
You dip your fingers.
Well, Johnny, then we've hit the jackpot because we have achieved something we've always dreamed of, and so has he here. He becomes the Tsar at 16 years old.
Yes.
And not just the new Grand Prince of Moscow.
Yes.
He is Tsar and Grand Prince of all Russia.
Yes.
At the age of 16.
Well, he's had a bit of a leg up there. What's happened is the Ottomans have taken Constantinople.
Right.
So remember, Russia elected to be part of the Orthodox Church, the true faith.
Right.
True Christians, which was the Eastern Empire.
Yeah.
Obviously, Roman Catholicism, that's the Western Roman Empire, then the Eastern, the Orthodox.
Sure.
Now that's fallen to the Ottomans. It's gone.
Right.
So Russia is the last representative of that.
Right.
So now suddenly, as well as being the Grand Prince of Moscow, suddenly finds himself as head of the religion.
That's
that
amazing.
means whatever he does, it's by divine right.
Oh, I see, like a pope.
Yes, because there's no head now in Constantinople. He's now head of the church.
I see.
Right.
So
very, very different. You challenge him, you challenge God. He can do what the hell he likes. Remember,
that's very key because he does change their constitution somewhat, and it's done with partly that power. It has to be. Okay. So the first Bloomin legendary moment for Ivan.
Yeah.
He's turned himself into an emperor.
Yes.
By his own hand.
Yes.
So he's taken over.
Yes.
Like properly, and as you said, made himself the leader of the church.
So that's Bloomin legendary moment. He's God's representative
on earth.
And for me, that's vital if you really want to kick ass.
Absolutely,
start judging suckers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, if you want your terror, your reign of terror to have some real effect.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, you've got to give people that choice, heaven or hell. My way, no matter how awful it seems. Surprisingly, I represent the forces of heaven. I know this is going to shock you because my name's terrible. But I actually represent God. You know, here's the paradox.
So he was the first ruler of Russia to ever use Tsar, translated from the Caesar, the Latin Caesar,
and also
emperor.
They also gave him, I forget the exact name of the crown, with what they said was the old crown of Constantinople.
Oh, really?
Which was the head of the the Orthodox
Right,
Church.
so that's then unifying the government and the church in one crown.
But they made out that this was the actual crown.
And it adds provenance to it all. Yeah.
Total
rubbish.
Total lie.
Total
they invented
rubbish.
it themselves. Absolute bullshit.
Absolutely. Well, we are being asked here because he changes the title as a flex.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't just want to be Grand Prince of Moscow.
Yeah.
He's rebranding effectively. And it's saying, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us he understands propaganda.
Yes.
And he understands branding.
Yeah.
He understands that there's a new word for this.
Yes.
Because you got to understand it. I'm everything now.
Yeah.
I'm the king, the boss, and the pope.
But
all
also,
in one.
But also, let's not forget obviously the word Tsar is from Caesar.
Yes.
So when the Roman Empire split, you've then got the two Caesars effectively.
Right.
You've got Caesar in Rome there,
Yeah.
Caesar there,
Yeah.
and so he's now the Tsar,
Yeah.
the Caesar as well.
Right.
So you know,
it's a challenge,
the
isn't
Christian
it?
emperor, yeah.
So 2 weeks after his crowning, he marries, which he's only 16 still. He marries Anastasia Romanovna, who was a kind, smart person, and the only person apparently that could calm him.
Really?
Mind you, that gives her power.
Yes.
Unbelievable power.
Yes.
Don't
you love that though in these sort of things? You know, it's like later. Well, in an earlier episode we did Rasputin, and he was the only person who could cure
only
the
I
hemophilia of it.
Speak to her, because we may get this news.
Please speak to him.
Yeah, we need the ports opened.
Yeah,
it's
he's
that kind
in one
thing.
of his moods. Yeah.
So she's the Tsaritsa.
Yeah.
Of Russia at 17.
Right.
He's 16, she's 17.
Nice.
It's a lovely young love story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine that teenage couple.
But also, you imagine your regret if you're one of those three families, the boyars around him, yeah? All you're thinking is, should have poisoned the little bastard.
Definitely.
That's what we should have done.
Definitely.
He's going to come back to haunt us.
No,
I tell you that now.
definitely me.
Yeah.
Because I you know.
Oh, Christ.
I didn't let him have those sausages that time.
I think he caught me poisoning his mum. Oh, Christ. I fed him nothing. I remember throwing him scraps, tossing up between him and the dog. Oh, Christ.
I heard Brodsky told him that because
I think Brodsky actually beat him.
Everyone's telling on each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, he starts off as a teenager. He gets called the Good Tsar. This is the good part of him.
Yeah.
Between 1549 and 1560, so that's an 11-year period.
Yeah.
He sets up a council to help run the country. That's
Yes.
the first time anyone's ever done that.
Yeah, they've never asked for anything.
It's called the Chosen Council. This is a council made up of people he hand-selected as loyal and trusted. This is also a classic despot move.
Yeah.
And can you imagine being in that council? That's quite a nervous privilege too.
Really nervous
because
privilege.
you don't want to put you a step wrong, because you could lose your head too. But they would control everything from this council. The Soviets did this to great effect. He modernized laws, he reformed local government, and he limited the power of nobility, the traditional nobility, after his upbringing around the horrible boyars.
Yes.
So he's got his own council that aren't the boyars.
Yes.
And he's sending a little firing
Well,
salvo across them, just by saying, it's not you
Yeah.
in charge anymore.
Yeah, but they're going to be from the same class. But
Yeah, go on.
this is the key. This is a lovely passage which tells you a little bit about him.
Yeah.
The ruler of Russia was to be considered no mere prince or king now. This is after the coronation, but emperor.
Emperor, yeah.
And with that came a divine mandate as both defender of the true Orthodox faith, but also of Russia's people. He's the intercessory with God.
There you go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Peasant or boyar, soldier or priest, they were all to be subject to a single authority, one backed by the promise of heaven or the threat of hell.
You're right. It's very Scottish.
Very Scottish.
Very Scottish.
That's it's like Gav. It's like Northern Ireland today. Who knows? My God.
These are also part of his reforms. He's created this council. He's keeping some of the boyars out of the picture.
Yeah.
Let's call them the nervous ones.
Yes.
Now. Previously, the nobles would keep their property and hand it down through generations. And to reduce this power, he made it so you had to earn your estate. So you could get your father's estate.
Yeah.
But you had to prove loyalty to him first.
Right.
This is clever. It eliminates rivals.
Hang on, don't tell me. Is it the test of money?
yeah. Tribute.
And the test is, give me some money.
Yeah, the couple needs to wet his beak.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what it is. So to reduce it, you had to earn your own father's estate by committing service to the Tsar.
Right.
Money. And it was but it was still a fairer system than before.
Yeah.
Ivan also created the first standing army that Russia ever had.
Yes.
The Streltsky, they were called.
Yeah.
They were composed of infantry with muskets, sabres, and the berdish.
Yeah.
Do you know what the berdish is?
What's that?
It's a horrible looking axe. It's a 5 foot long
Oh, yes.
axe handle with a curved sort of scimitar blade at one end like an
Yes,
axe head, but
yeah.
it's not an axe because
Yeah.
axes are usually weighted on the other
Yeah.
side. It's not. It's just a blade on a stick.
Yeah.
You could chop someone's head off with
You
it.
know when someone's really things are going to be bad for you, yeah?
Yeah.
One, they start designing new axes.
Right.
And let's not forget the origin of the word fascist
Yes.
comes from the word fascis, which is a type of axe.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that you find particularly
Is that right?
Minoan culture. Yeah. So-
Axes have got so many varied names.
yeah, but it's the fascis,
The
which
fascis.
was a symbol of power, I think, by King Minos. On
Wow.
the island of Crete, the fasci.
The legendary
It's
of
an
the
ultimate-
Minotaurs. Wow.
So first of all, that's the thing you've got to do to show you're in control.
Yeah.
You design an axe.
Well, they've got muskets too, which
Yeah.
is nice and modern.
Yes. Also, Gav, he's got as his symbol now, which he's taken from Constantinople,
Yeah.
the double-headed eagle.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Very
once
powerful.
once you see an eagle
Yeah,
coming on you,
yeah.
run.
Get the
run.
hell out of
Anyone,
there. Yeah,
Romans,
yeah.
Nazis.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. If you've
Yeah,
got, they didn't have double-headed ones, but if you've got eagles kicking around,
Even the Americans, John, if you're their enemy, get out of the
you
way when
get
they
the
if
fuck out
you're
of there.
Saddam Hussein. you get
Anyone,
out of
anyone
there.
with
Yeah.
eagles, go. Yeah, because let me tell you, if you've got eagles, you do not come in peace.
Never.
Especially not
No, there's
double-headed.
no eagle saying, "Hi, how are you?"
No.
He's not shaking your hand.
Never good. If you
No,
go,
no.
I don't know, ma. There's some soldiers coming, Mum.
They got eagles.
Have they got eagles? Yeah, we better run like fuck then.
Well, you look at nature. When eagles arrive, they arrive claws first.
yeah,
don't
claws
they?
first, right.
They arrive
Yeah,
talons
It's
first.
a raptor.
It's not
from,
going
from the word to
it's-
seize.
It's not going to lean into you and
Yeah,
purr.
it
It's
doesn't,
coming to
It's
kill.
not going to land on your gauntlets unless it's trained.
So, for Ivan the Terrible, this is so far quite a positive story.
Yeah.
He's improved the laws, he's removed some of the power from the oligarchs, the nobles, and he's expanding the empire. So, in 1552, his first glimmer of craziness comes through.
Nice. What happens?
Well, he gets St. Basil's Cathedral built, and
Yes.
the architect, he blinds him
Why?
because he doesn't want anyone else making anything quite so beautiful.
Let's salute that, Gav, because that is Bloomin Legendary. But also such a sort of childish thing, isn't it?
It's so childish.
God,
well,
man.
it's so childish, Johnny, that I'm trying to figure out how old he is there. He's 22.
He's 22.
He has his architect blinded because you don't want anyone else.
Just to parallel that,
That is the most, it's my ball and I'm taking it home, I've ever heard of.
Chelsea fielded the youngest ever Premiership side
Yes.
ever, and that's the average age 24.3
Yeah.
last season. Yeah,
Right.
He's 2 years under that. He represents one of the Chelsea youth policy
He
votes.
does.
You know,
He
he's
does.
literally. It's like he's like you got to imagine like a young Harry Kane.
But we've got to remember, he's been Tsar for 8 years
Yeah.
now. 16
Yeah.
he started being Tsar.
Shall I tell you who he's probably quite like?
Who?
Yeah, a young Michael Owen. He'd have done stuff like
Very
this.
similar.
Definitely.
Very similar. I think Michael Owen has a similar opinion of himself.
Yes, but
as
when you
the
hear
Tsar
Michael
does here.
when you hear Michael Owen talk about his childhood, like throwing apple cores,
Oh,
at a bit,
definitely.
he definitely would have
Same
blinded
stuff.
someone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no doubt about
Oh,
it.
Michael would have seen off them boyars. Quite
Oh, yeah,
nice.
he's seen off them boy. In fact, Liverpool, very similar. Go on.
So this is where it kind of starts going wrong. He has 2 children, both males.
Yes.
And then his first wife, Anastasia, dies in
Yes.
1560.
The only person who could calm him.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Ivan believes she was poisoned by one of the boyars. Struck by grief, he reacts badly.
Does he?
That's an understatement. This is where things take a turn. This is the so say goodnight to the bad guy.
Okay, what happens?
This is, well, he begins executing boyars.
Okay.
He suspects everyone of treason.
Yes. Well, he thought she'd been poisoned just like his mum. So
Exactly.
it's like
Well,
a
they
Freudian
have
thing.
poisoned his mum.
Yes, yes.
And he's paranoid.
Yes.
So it's both. It's just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching you. It's one of those ones.
But who would poison? Here's the question, Gav. Yes.
Yeah.
She was poisoned.
Yeah.
But who poisons the one person who keeps him calm?
Well, this is the thing.
That's what you got to think.
This
Just
is
get
a
rid of her. She's
chaos
a calming
agent.
influence. I don't like it.
You're
I want it to be
right.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The death of his wife brings, it's just a small part of his struggles in 1560. Russia's devastated at the time by drought, famine, and unsuccessful wars is the worst thing you can do if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
a Russian
yeah,
leader. So Ivan writes a resignation letter.
Yeah.
He blamed all the nobles for the downfall of the Russian regime. So it's
Yeah.
not just his wife dying,
Yeah.
it's wars going wrong, famine, drought.
Yeah.
The boyars were left unable to rule, so he legs it, but they can't handle it because he
Yeah.
had centralised all the power.
So he resigned as emperor.
He
for a bit.
resigns, but they chase him down and beg him to return.
Yes, because it's.
He agrees, but only on one condition.
What's the condition?
This time, absolute power
Right.
over everyone.
Yes.
He demanded he has the right to condemn and execute anyone as a traitor,
Yes.
confiscate any estate,
Yeah.
all without permission from the church, which
Yeah.
used to be part of the formalities.
Yeah.
And
So it's a little bit like in Narcos, when the chaos that happens in the TV series Narcos.
Yes.
When Felix is going down.
Felix Gallardo.
And they all start just whacking each other out.
Exactly right,
And basically
yeah.
saying we've got to get Felix back.
bring him back,
Right.
keep it quiet, calm everyone down.
Yes, and it's pretty well an exact parallel. That is, you get all those people grumbling. Yes, but he's making the most money. No wonder he wants us all to be united.
Right.
But without that happening, it's
even worse.
It's literally
You're between the
slaughter.
devil and the deep blue
Yeah,
sea,
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
you? This is when he creates the Oprichniki. Well, this is almost mythically legendary.
Okay.
Because he creates something that you'd see in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Now these are his personal army,
Yeah.
and they rode black horses. They wore black robes.
Yes.
So you imagine it on a black robe on a black
Yeah.
horse. They had symbols of dog heads and brooms to sniff out and sweep away traitors.
Yes.
And they massacred thousands
They had.
of nobles, clergy, and sometimes an entire town.
Well, this is because the first army he created turned on him anyway, the Streltsy.
Yes.
So that's who he.
That's right. So he's now got his more loyal, more vicious army.
Well, it's exactly like an SS as opposed to stormtroopers. isn't
Very
it?
similar.
real
very similar.
parallel there. But,
Very similar.
But these guys, I mean, that's blooming legendary.
Absolutely.
Terrifyingly
yeah.
legendary.
Your own horror soldiers.
Yeah, horror soldiers.
Yeah.
But they had dogs' heads
Actual dogs'
on
heads.
pikes as they went in, and just blizzards of flies, dead dogs
And
on
the
their saddles.
smell of rotting
just-
animals.
Oh,
and
man.
They had stuff tied to their saddles. And they...
I feel sure Dementors
Oh, definitely.
from Harry Potter were
It's
based on.
designed to scare you as well as kill you.
Oh, that shit you up.
They dedicated their lives to Ivan. Obviously, there was probably some ritual when they joined. But in return, and this is another very modern tale, they were given land,
Yes.
social and economic
Yes.
privileges, and could not be held accountable for their actions.
Yes.
So they were free of law.
Yeah, well, because they were doing,
They were doing
surprisingly,
his personal bidding, yeah.
surprisingly, those guys in black robes on black horses with dogs' heads on
Yes.
broomstick handles,
Yes.
sweeping away evil.
Yeah.
They were representing God.
Of
Remember
course,
that. Remember that.
because
God.
he was directly in chatting with God. Don't
But
forget. yeah.
again, hell's angels in that way.
Yes.
Well, angels from hell. I don't want
Yeah,
to diss the
yeah,
bros.
yeah.
But Gavin,
Mm.
we were talking earlier about how when you see the eagles run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that saying,
man.
Mum, there's soldiers coming. Have they got the eagles?
No.
they've got dead dogs' heads on poles and they're dressed in black.
With flies.
With lots of flies round them.
Everyone's running.
Run! Run, my boy!
Well, here's a great example: the massacre of Novgorod.
Go on.
In 1570.
Oh, this is a jolly tale.
In
this one.
1570, this is the kind of thing even Boudikai
Yeah.
would be not wanting to hear.
Budic.
Budic, she wouldn't like it. His paranoia goes through the roof, as if
Yeah.
it hasn't already. He becomes convinced that Novgorod is plotting to join the Lithuanian-Polish pact
Yes.
that are against Russia.
Yes.
He sends the Oprichniki in, these horrible soldiers, dog soldiers.
Yes.
And this starts off what's called a month-long torture fest.
Nice.
Horrible.
Bloomin'
They
Legends.
surra-
Bloomin'
They
Legends.
surrounded the city, trapping all the inhabitants, and they just got to work. It's very similar to Boudica when she
Yeah,
surrounded that one Roman settlement.
Gav, it's something humans do when they're feeling a bit bitter.
Surround
But
them.
let's salute him for
The month-long torture fest.
yeah, but conforming to quite a cliche,
It's straight out
It's
of Lord
what
of the
you
Rings.
do, isn't it?
It's terrifying.
I tell you why.
Yeah.
It's what you do. You need a month-long torture fest in a city to show these guys, they're not going to take your shit, all right? Don't give me any shit, because I will do a month-long torture session, and it's not going to be good.
Look,
Look at
it's
these
only
guys.
a matter of time until month-long
Yeah.
torture fest are playing at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
It
but
is
also,
only a matter
but
of
also,
time.
when you're turning up with dogs' heads on
Oh,
broomsticks,
man. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, and you look like you're not bothered about the flies, These guys, and why are you doing it? In exchange for land. And I tell you something,
Man, they didn't mess around.
it ain't going to be you who's working that land either.
No,
it's going to
no.
be some poor
That's
fucking
right.
peasant.
Yeah. They surround the city, trapping all the inhabitants, and, quote, go to work.
Yeah.
They drowned people.
Sorry, where's that quote from? Where's the go to work
It's from our producer's notes.
Is it?
Yeah.
They quote
go to work.
Yeah.
People were drowned in the Volkhov River.
Yeah.
Children were murdered. An entire city destroyed.
Yeah.
There's the estimates of how many people, between 15,000 and 60,000 people were killed in that massacre.
Yeah.
Well, if it took them a month, it's definitely in the
No,
thousands.
you got to roll your sleeves up, Gav, for
It's
slaughter
definitely
like
in the
that.
thousands.
Yeah.
Then we come from the massacre of Novgorod.
Yeah.
We come to another person.
Can you say, by the time you get to 60,000 people in Russia,
Mm.
you've got such a small... You are massacring people who literally don't know what the hell they're being massacred for.
Not
They're
just
thinking,
that.
what have I done wrong? I'm just a peasant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no information flow.
Shut up and join the others.
And no,
You know.
You should have known when the dog soldiers turned up.
You know why.
But even not just that, but the news of it
Yeah.
wouldn't have travelled for ages
Yeah,
either.
no,
Or
no.
if he didn't want the news to travel, or did
No,
on
Gav.
purpose.
Gav, you have hit a major problem in Russia.
Yeah.
It's always been there.
Distance.
The
Time and distance.
The time it takes to communicate
Yeah,
anything, which is
absolutely
why
right. Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got to be extreme. Else the message is not going to come across.
That's
And also-
why he wasn't Ivan the nice boy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but also, Gav, is everyone knows that everyone exaggerates along the way.
Oh, of course.
So
So
you've got to
the
do
exaggerated
things that,
whispers.
So
Yeah.
you've got to do things that are extreme right from the get-go, because by the time anything gets anywhere, it's already
It's
a load of
quadrupled.
bullshit.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
start saying
yeah.
60,000 people they killed, they go bullshit. So you've got to really push it
Yeah,
up.
you're right, you're right.
It was 1 million. People think
Yeah.
1 million, probably about 100,000.
Yeah.
Christ.
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
So now we're coming to a pretty legendary moment in his life as well.
Yeah.
Probably the most telling moment, other
Okay.
than his mother being poisoned
Yeah.
and becoming Tsar at 16. He goes from the massacre of Novgorod in 1570.
Yeah, which way he went to work.
Right. 11 years later, 1581, he gets in a disagreement with his pregnant daughter-in-law, the wife of his son, Ivan,
Yeah.
because he deemed her outfit immodest.
Yes.
His temper blew up and he
Hey,
strikes
wait a second,
her
he's getting at his daughter-in-law.
daughter-in-law for wearing too revealing a dress, basically.
Yes.
He,
You're like a harlot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
His temper blows up and he strikes her. And his son, Ivan,
Yeah.
steps in to defend his wife, which leads to Ivan, the father, hitting his own son in the head with a scepter,
Yes.
which is very symbolic and tragic because the son dies.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he's
Bloomin Legend
Yes.
for using crown jewels to kill ye heir.
because it's a scepter, it's a kind of weapon,
No,
isn't
it is.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's what
mace.
it's meant for.
It's
It's a mace. Yeah, right, but it's a
mace.
golden one. It's
But
meant
it's
to be
a
ornamental.
symbolic one. Yeah.
Right. But, Gav,
Yes.
what's significant here is I think this is a lie. I think,
Why do you think?
because I think he's tried to sleep with her.
Ah,
His son's come in. She's resisted him.
Right.
He's sort of thinking it's my right to sleep with you.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He
for
doesn't want to admit why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to admit I was literally trying to have it away with my son's missus.
Right.
He's gone in there.
Because he's the Tsar. He does
done
what
in
he
there.
wants.
Right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the reason he's got into an argument with his son.
That's a good theory.
He hasn't just struck him once. He's assaulting her. The son's come in, tried to break him up, and he's literally.
Johnny, this is a Columbo I'd love to
No,
see.
but
can you imagine? But sir, the dress. I took a look at the dress.
Yeah.
It's not that revealing.
It's not that revealing
You can't see anything.
unless of course you caught her in a state of undress, which you would have done
If you
came
come
in
into the chamber
at 8 o'clock
at the top of the tower,
before the chambermaids started to.
and she hasn't put the candles out yet.
Yeah, right.
And I think that would be a
Yeah.
great episode.
Yeah.
That should be a movie, just that
It's
incident.
going back
yeah.
a bit, but Gav, go on.
It is, yeah.
Gav, can I just say, there's another great thing happens, which get ready to salute a Bloomin Legend.
Go on.
Because he's unmarried, yeah?
Yes.
In 1581, he puts in a proposal to Queen Elizabeth of England.
You're
To
kidding.
say, I hear you're unmarried.
Elizabeth the First.
Elizabeth the
he
First.
quite likes the look of
Right,
her.
he likes the look of her. He's
Yeah.
saying, let's unite our lands.
He wants a navy as well,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
of
He
course
wants
he does.
a navy.
Well, yes,
That's
but
the really early beginnings of the Royal
That's
Navy.
so ambitious.
It's so ambitious.
Should have seen it was so nouveau. Just like today.
Do you know what? It reminds me of when Trump boasted he could have dated Princess
Yes,
Di.
yeah.
He said that in New York.
Right.
Just for
Yeah,
publicity.
but it is sort of like Dodie.
It is,
with
it
Di, you know,
is,
but
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's exactly that. Go on.
So we're towards the end of his time now. The Tsar himself, in his later years, after he remarried 7 times.
Yes.
After Anastasia.
God,
had,
Elizabeth I could have been one of those.
he said that if Anastasia had not died, because don't forget, she'd been poisoned as far as he was concerned, even if she wasn't, but
Yeah.
she probably was. He said that if she had not died, none of the gruesome things that followed would have ever happened.
Oh.
It's a bit like, look what you made me do, isn't
Yes.
it? It's a little bit.
No, I get that.
I mean, I can see the logic in it.
The heart wants what the heart wants, Gav.
3 years pass, and we come to the end of the Tsar's story. Ivan dies in the middle of a game of chess in 1584.
Wait, Bloomin Legends.
That's legendary.
That's legendary.
In a game of chess,
Yeah.
He died either possibly of a stroke,
Yes.
or possibly poisoned.
Yes.
Now, this is when we find out that the word for stroke in Russian also means
Poisons. It doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't.
That'd be
I
good.
wish that was true. I wish that was true.
Poisoned during a game of chess.
Yeah, the same thing. He is succeeded by his second son, Fyodor, not Ivan,
Yes.
because he's dead, which leads to what they called the time of troubles. He was
Yeah.
probably a lovely boy.
Well, the Fyodor's no good. This is what
Chaos for decades.
No, but this is what lets the Romanovs in.
Oh, is that
After
right?
Fyodor, so
and this is the family that gets
Yes.
revolted against by the revolution.
remember
Yeah.
his first wife. Yeah.
Right.
So she's a
So the Romanovs were around a long time.
So she's a Romanov. His
Right.
first wife. Remember
Yes,
Romanov.
that's right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's now Fyodor. This now hands over because he's not got an heir into
Right.
her family
I
because it's then his
see.
cousin that goes
And they're there all the way up to the revolution.
all the way up to 1917.
That's amazing.
One continuous family. Yeah.
And it proves again you have to be a violent psychopath to run Russia.
Yeah, absolutely right, Gav. But also, there's such an irony in there. Chess, which, well, the name for chess in Russia is roughly translated as kill the king,
Yes.
which is why communists love it.
Right.
'Cause it's about killing a royal.
Yeah, a monarch,
and there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You're fans of irony. How can we kill this guy
Yeah,
who
yeah.
set himself up as this?
Yeah,
he will
yeah,
die
yeah,
during a
yeah.
game that's about getting rid of the king.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So much symbolism.
Yeah, and also the realization. I wonder if he was checkmated and he said checkmate, and suddenly who could have seen something laid out so beautifully, such an ironic demise?
It's
when
unbelievable,
You
yeah.
look at a chessboard, realize your king's time has come, at exactly the moment when your time has come.
It's like a play. Ivan the Fourth.
Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Dread, Ivan the Fourth. Bloomin' Legends salute you.